Hey, what's going on everyone? Mike here, and today we're going to talk about some interesting, notable, or just talk-worthy topics that I gathered throughout the week. Really, this series just lets me connect with all of you, see exactly what you think about the topics I bring up, and it lets me talk about some interesting stuff I find throughout the week that, I might want to ramble about that I can't specifically make a single video for. For those of you that didn't hear or see about it, I was on the Resellers Wake Up with Paul and the crew on Wednesday, and I had a great time. And most importantly, that video from that wake up is like currently 5th all-time for his top viewed videos. It has over 1,000 views in like less than 48 hours now. So I'd appreciate it if you have not checked it out, if you go over there, hit it up, and continue to make that video super successful, because I think it was a great show and we all had a great time. So go check it out if you didn't. And then another thing I want to talk about is the channel. It's doing phenomenally well, so I want to thank all of you so much. I truly appreciate all the old subs and all the new subs. If you're watching this right now, it's probably right around 6,000 subscribers, so thank you so much. The next topic I wanted to speak about were the Amazon delivery drones that I talked about in a video last week. And I want to talk about the 2 most common responses that I got to that video, which I found really hilarious and not very thought out. The first response was all the drones are going to get shot down, and the second response was that they would get stolen. So let's go over these 2 responses for a second here. First of all, if Amazon's going to release delivery drones, they're going to be in the inner city where they have enough sales force to drive sales to sustain those delivery drones that aren't going to be cheap to start out. They're not going to have them out in the country where there's far travel distance and they can be shot down by the locals. Now, there's not many people I can think of who are running around the city with shotguns that are going to shoot these things down. Also, they fly at up to 400 feet in the air, which isn't very low, so I'm pretty sure you're not going to shoot it down with a handgun. So overall, I'm not sure what everyone's thinking when they're saying they're going to get shot down. It's not too likely. Yeah, it could happen if they were in the country, but why would you want to destroy someone's property anyways? Secondly, everyone's worried about them getting stolen. Now, there's a few things here. Obviously, the drones are going to have tracking devices and cameras, both of which will help deter theft. Besides all that, why would you want to steal a delivery drone anyways? What are you going to get parts off of it? It's really not going to do you any good. Now, other people mentioned stealing the product, and that makes a little more sense. But it's not much more likely than your product being stolen right from your porch or from the back of a truck or, any other delivery service. There's no difference, really, if you think about it. A big brown truck is a lot easier to see than a really small drone landing near your house. So I'm not sure why everyone thinks that there's this huge influx and theft going to happen because of drones, whereas my packages sit on my porch for 12 hours a day sometimes, and they're not stolen, and the chance of them being stolen is probably exactly the same. But since we're talking about Amazon, a big announcement happened just this morning. Amazon announced they're going to release a cloud service with different fee structures, and they're going to try and compete with Dropbox and Google Drive. Now, Amazon is releasing 2 cloud services. Both are unlimited. You can have as much data as you want. The first is $11.99 per year, and it allows you to have unlimited photos in that cloud drive or whatever you want to call it. And then the second plan is $60 a year, I think $59.99, which is the same as Prime unless they changed it. And you can have unlimited of any type of data whatsoever. Now, comparing these 2 Google Drive's prices and Dropbox's prices, they're phenomenal for cloud storage. And I think as time goes on, this competition will really help drive the price way down. Eventually, I feel like someone will come along and offer almost free, complete, unlimited storage. But as of right now, Amazon's prices seem to be the best out there. Also, you should note, if you're a Prime member, you're going to get the $11.99 photo storage unlimited for free every year. But if you want to store other things like videos and, PDFs and all that stuff, then you'll need to pay for the other service. Some really sad news I want to talk about was German flight 4U95. I'm sure many of you have heard that it crashed just a few days ago. And they've been trying to figure out exactly what happened because it kind of crashed right into the side of a mountain. And they couldn't figure out why the plane was so low, why there was no distress calls, or what was going on. And what they found out is very disturbing and very saddening. So the main pilot left the cockpit to use the bathroom, which is common practice. And the doors on flights automatically lock once you close them behind you. And this was implemented obviously after 9/11 to make sure no one can get in and rush you as soon as you come out. And as he came back from the bathroom, he realized the door was locked and the code was disabled. And so what they've concluded at this point was the co-pilot, for whatever reason, purposely disabled the code and crashed the plane to kill everyone. And they've done plenty of investigation, and they don't see any specific reason why he would want to do this. And it's not terrorist related at this point, at least they're saying. So it's very sad and very tragic, and for a lot of reasons. 150 people lost their lives, which is just very depressing. If this guy was depressed and, you know, wanted to end his own life, that's fine, but you don't interfere with other people's lives while you do it. I don't think that's okay at all, so it's very saddening. And I mean, it's sad that anyone would want to do that anyways. If they're in that situation, what's going through their brain? But more tragic to me was the fact that the pilot, the lead pilot, realized what was happening right away, and he got an axe and tried to chop through the door but couldn't make it through. And I cannot even imagine the sheer terror and the weight of the world on his shoulders at that point, especially as everyone started to panic and realize what was going on. So the whole situation is really depressing, but I wanted to talk about it because I really want to know what everyone's thoughts on the situation were. If anyone heard anything different, because I try to keep up with it when I can. I haven't heard anything about it in a couple of days. But you can comment in the comment section if you have anything to say about the situation. Nonetheless, it's a huge tragedy, no matter how it went down. And I'm just really sad to see that it happened. So something really cool I wanted to talk about, and I thought this intertwined well with my last video, which I talked about all of my favorite books I've read. And in that series, I talked about Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which is a book about how rich people think about things and how poor people think about things. And I think one of the most common misconceptions that the lower class has is they like to blame the rich people for stuff. Although, yes, there are scumbag rich people, there are also scumbag poor people. And like there are awesome poor people that are super humble and very giving, there are super humble and very giving rich people. And this is just proof of that situation. So I want to talk about Apple CEO. Tim Cook, who took over after Steve Jobs died, announced that he's going to be donating his entire fortune from all of his Apple stocks to charity, every bit of it. $785 million he's going to be giving back to charity, and I'm assuming he's going to live off of his retirement fund from Apple. But he announced that he's literally donating every dollar he's ever saved up to charity to give back, because he thinks he kind of owes it to everyone, and he wants to, you know, give back to everyone. And I feel like this is such a stand-up thing. It's such an amazing offer. And like, I make videos to help people, and I feel great when people mention me and say, thank you so much for the help. We appreciate you offering all this time for free. And I can't even imagine being able to donate that much money and change that many lives. So I think this is really awesome news. And from a negative perspective that a lot of people have, it goes to show that all rich people are not scumbags. You should really get out of that tunnel vision view. There's just as many bad rich people as there is bad poor people, and there's just as many good rich people as there is good poor people. The problem is, if you watch media and other things, you only hear about the bad of both ends. So I just want to kind of enlighten everyone and let you know that these things do happen quite often. There's a lot of rich people that really, really do give back. And the final thing I wanted to talk about is completely not business or news related, really. It's more about one of my favorite TV shows of all time. And if any of you are Top Gear fans, you know exactly what I'm going to talk about. But Jeremy Clarkson, who was one of the main three hosts on the show, was recently fired from the show. And this is big news, because that show has the three best host chemistry I've ever seen in my life. They are just all like intertwined as one unit. It is truly one of the best trios I've ever seen on TV. Honest to God, it is really good. And it's kind of sad to see this happen, but I want to talk about the other end of it, really. I'm very upset because the show will never be the same, and I have a feeling the other two hosts are just going to decide to leave as well, which really ruins the show, because it's been going for like 15, 16 seasons with these guys now, and they have done a truly phenomenal job. But the whole twist about this is he was fired for a good reason. He was being a complete douchebag behind stage and decided to punch one of the producers because he didn't get the food he wanted. I mean, are you kidding me? How much of a scumbag can you be? You're already like a host on a great show, and apparently you're quite spoiled because you didn't get the food that you wanted. You decided to hit your producer. I'm sorry, but that's straight douchebag alert, and you deserve to be fired. So, not only did you ruin a great show over something really stupid, you ruined your career. And for me, this is so, like, it's sad, and, like, I'm happy they did it. Because, you know, a lot of people who are famous get away with stuff like this because they have a good personality on air, and because people think a certain way of them because they've never met them. I'm glad that they made the right decision in getting rid of him. As much as it sucks for the show and the legacy of the show, you can't do that, and it's not right. And if you do something wrong like that, you deserve to face the consequences. And there have been plenty of examples where people did not face the consequences for situations like this. And recently, Philip DeFranco, who's a big YouTuber, you guys might know him. He also runs like SourceFed and For Human Peoples. He put a post on Twitter about it, and he said lots of famous people behind the scenes are really assholes and get away with stuff like this. And he's very happy that this happened. And I could not agree more. I completely agree that this is what he deserved. But if you're a Top Gear fan, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the situation. Are you saddened by this? I know most people love the British Top Gear because of those hosts, and I think they really did make one of the best car shows of all time. And the American Top Gear is straight garbage, so yeah, let's not even go there. But all in all, I'd like to thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate it. I just want to talk about random topics and get your input. If you want to talk about any of the situations, topics, news in this video, please post down below and I'll make sure to respond. Also, all the timestamps for each different individual topic are in the description in case you don't want to watch all of the topics. You can pick the ones out that you'd like to see. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys soon.